We're not going to stop Gadflow by just standing here and chatting. You should have seen Alabastra at its prime. Serene and beautiful as a sky full of stars. Vale was the seat of the Winter Court. Every bit as cold as Issa is warm. But they're both beautiful in their own ways.
Praise Lyria! I thought you'd never arrive. Welcome to Camp Moondown. Are you with Captain Ancilla's company? It took more deaths than I wished to admit to secure the pass between Chloricon and Alabastra. Now that it belongs to the Alfar, we intend to hold it. Moondown is the best position in the valley. If it falls, we fall with it. The war is not what I expected. I missed the Battle of Melsenshir. Only action I've seen until now has been escorting healers and weaponsmiths. I'm no warrior. I'm an Alfar noble turned bodyguard. Even more self-absorbed than a knave of pride over there. Ancilla was ordered to bring his men to reinforce Moondown, but he hasn't come. His name is Colm, added to our outfit in Melsenshir after our previous healer was, I'll spare you the details. Anelisaf is one of ours, though she doesn't act like it. Her work makes up for her personality. We need soldiers, not heroes. Without help, we won't last long on this ridge. Still, any help is something. Will you lend a hand? Our commander and his Ariad rushed ahead to Shadow Pass, and the enemy moved in to divide us. Most of us left behind are dead, and the wounded might as well be. Each Tuatha attack is bigger, more brutal than the last. We need fresh sword arms, lots of them. Thank you. Without you, we could not... No! That's a Tuatha now! Come! That should give you a taste of what we've been up against. Tuatha see this camp as sacrilege. Thank you for your help. The tales of your courage are true. That I don't know. Fate has thrown so much hardship our way. Tuatha took our healer. The weaponsmith ran off. The mercenaries deserted us when the gold ran out. They're camped on the land bridge to the south, but they're not going anywhere while the Tuatha hold Shadow Pass. If you rescue Colm, our injured could fight again, and we might stand a chance. Raiders seized him 2 nights ago. It was dark, but I'm certain I saw them head to Glass Pillar Caves.
Hello, mortal. I am the Knave of Pride. Wait a moment. The hero of Melsenshir, here to offer your services. You have impeccable timing. I have some Bulgans that need to be disposed of. I was sent to Camp Moondown to help assess the situation. There are greater things at stake. I'm just looking to move on by completing these menial tasks, or having someone complete them for me. I hear she has little experience, but I have better things to do than chat with or about those beneath me. They're everywhere, big red faces, the stuff of nightmares. The Bulgan masters use them as foot soldiers when they can. They compelled the Bulgan to fight. If you're in the mood, locate these Bulgan masters. Shouldn't be too difficult for the hero of Melsenshir. Well, get to work then, hero, and come see me once you've thwarted the threat. They're a special breed of mage, real nasty. The Bulgan masters control the Bulgans, hence the name. Not sure, but they're about. Always seem to turn up whenever we are desperately clinging to life. It's a lovely arrangement.
My gods, the hero of Melsenshir! I'm so sorry to have led you into that trap. I had no choice. They threatened to torture me. Forgive me. I've been wounded. Don't have the strength to care for myself. Camp was already set up when I arrived. Bad as it was when I got there, It's worse now. She's more honorable than most. All Docklefard lust for power, I think, but she seems immune to its influence. I was assigned to Captain Canwin to replace her previous healer. I was captured by the Tuatha and brought down here. They knew if they took someone important enough, rescue would come. Since Moondown hasn't broken yet, they figured drawing away the remaining soldiers would weaken Canwin's defenses. You're here, so I guess it was a good plan. If I'm going to get back to camp, I'll need a powerful healing potion. Do you happen to have one on you? That feels better. It will be a while before the full effects take hold, but the potion did its work. If you escort me to the exit, I'll meet you back at Camp Moondown. Move fast. I'm proof of what happens to those traveling alone.
Colm is back? Great news! A healer will patch our wounds, but we'll need our weaponsmith too. I don't suppose you'd agree to help us again. Anella is a curious sort, impetuous, full of wild ideas, better suited to the Scholia Arcana than the army. She talked a lot about the Whispering Caves, so that's a good place to start.
Fool. I was counting on the Tuatha guards to lead me to the staff once I got out of here. Now I'll have to consult the grimoire and retrace my steps. Thanks for nothing. Yes, I know I'm too beautiful to be an intellectual. Well, I am, and I've devoted my life to becoming a summoner. Not just any summoner, but the greatest since Arba. None could rival him, in life or death. His power was so great, even the gods feared him. With his staff, I shall be his rightful heir, the Summoner Supreme. Colm made it back to the camp. If he's returned, the camp will need services as well. You help me, and I might be inclined to help Camp Moondown in return. Constantly under attack from the Tuatha. It's not very hospitable. She just wants her weaponsmith back. The captain doesn't realize I didn't enlist to sharpen swords. I joined so I could come here. It's a staff crafted by the brilliant Docklefar mage, Arba. According to his writings, he imbued it with great summoning powers in Prismere. Come, I'll show you. They guard the breath of Arba. Up ahead, I nearly determined its resting place when you blundered in here and killed the Tuatha guards. Thank you, I suppose, for getting the staff back from those Tuatha. No point in keeping it for yourself. It'll only work for one such as me who can understand its whispers. Escort me to the exit where it is safe, and you can give me the staff there. Now that I've got the staff, I want to stay as far away from Whispering Caves as possible. Surely the camp is fortunate to have my aid. Skilled weaponsmiths don't just land at one's feet. Well, apparently, they get recruited. Colm's a secretive one. Whatever his reasons for staying, he won't survive long without a healer.
You found the weaponsmith? Alive? I must admit I'm shocked. And she brings with her a powerful magic? Such aid is more than welcome. And well-timed. The Tuatha are on the move! Trav pushed through it, along with Camp Moondown, without a look back. Once the Ariad surged ahead, Moondown was left vulnerable and Tuatha attacked our camp. Thanks to you, we might actually live to see reinforcements arrive. I only hope our forces in Shadow Pass are faring as well. You could bring back the mercenaries. We hired them when reinforcements didn't come, but they've abandoned us. We'll need them if we are to hold a bit longer. Are you up to the task? We couldn't afford their fee anymore, simple as that. They meant to desert us, but didn't get far before the Tuatha pushed them back. They made camp up on the overlook. You'll have to deal with their leader, Gorham Kane.
I don't need no more stragglers trying me for a penny. I've got nothing and wouldn't share it if I did. Damn parasites. High Fulgen's no place for the likes of you. It's a mass grave. They just don't know it yet. Between you and I, if Camwen could have paid, I'd have gladly ordered my men to stay and fight. I'm not made of stone, but being a hired sword means you can't fight every battle that inspires you. Her persistence is honourable, even if her hope is in vain. But honour doesn't pay for our meals, our repairs, our passage across the sea. War is about survival. Honour has no place on this battlefield. I spent the first few years of the Crystal War as a soldier, but it didn't pay so well, so I fashioned a better deal. Damn me if you want, I'm alive, aren't I? There are few more important locations in this struggle. The Tuatha wish to keep us out of Alabastra, and they will shove us back into Chloricon if they can. We came out here to find work with Deciderus Trav. Word is, Trav's not stingy with the coin. He is commanding officer of a group of Alpha scouts and assassins. Captain Trav tends to do things instinctively. Great man, but difficult to work for. But pay is pay and gold is gold, so who gives a damn, right? Because I don't lift a finger without getting paid. Without a contract, I'm just another soldier waiting for his turn to die. Fine. You must know a thing or two about sacrifice to talk like that. We'll go to Moondown and we'll fight, but after this I'm through with charity. Listen here, I fight hard for my living. If folks don't compensate me justly, I make for elsewhere. If Moondown wants our help, they either pay or help us get through this pass. I've got a feeling the Alpha up ahead have work and coin to spare. If you clear out the Tuatha watchtowers between here and Shadow Pass, we can give Captain Camwen a bit more of our time. What do you say? This camp is fortunate to have the mercenaries. Perhaps our purses will get a bit weightier from this fortune as well.
Thank you for restoring Camp Moondown and helping us repel the Tuatha. There is one last challenge ahead. I am no great leader. I can't offer the inspiration my soldiers need, but the Siegebreaker can. Speak to them, inspire them to greatness, and we just might survive. Yes, if you could speak to the troops, it would fan the fires that burn deep in their hearts. They trust you, hero. Lead them.
Agarth wanted me to keep an eye on Lady Shear, but you and I need to have a talk first. I've been reviewing my notes of our last trip to Alabastra, and I've come to some startling conclusions about your death and Tirnoch. I don't know exactly, but it must have been a tremendously powerful source of magic. So powerful that the Well of Souls couldn't help but pick up on it. You were attuned to the well in my lab, but Hugh's well captured your essence. The power in Bale seems to have been the missing element. What's more, I think that power is the source of the Prismere crystals. Something intelligent and malignant. The creature the Tuatha called Tirnoch. Something incredibly powerful. I don't know if we even have a name for what she is, because no one's lived to name it. She's not a god. She's something much, much worse. And judging by the growth of this Prismere, she's very close to coming into our world for good. Whatever Gadflow's been doing, it's all in order to bring her here. So you've got to stop him before it's too late. When you and I came to Alabastra, we were looking for the source of the Prismere's power. I never found it, but I think you did, and that's why you died. The frosted gem at the center of Alabastra, full of Prismere, but now it's a lot more full of enemies than it was when we snuck in there. Tirnoch isn't a god. No god has ever commanded that much magic directly. Whatever she is, she must be amazingly powerful. I can see why Gadflow would worship her. Imagine controlling that much raw magic. with tremendous difficulty. Even so, there weren't as many Tuatha here, and we used magic to keep us hidden. Magic which you provided, in fact. You never did explain where you got those fascinating little artifacts.
By Lyria, it was you who stood against Baelor when Telera fell. Fortune favors me today. I am commander of the Ariad. Do you bring word of my reinforcements? I was a scout under Telera's command when Baelor was first unleashed upon us. I witnessed with these eyes what that beast did to our people. For what you have done, friend, you'll never have to buy your own ale. When the Ariad chose me, I'd lost everything. My friends, my family, all consumed by war. We trained for years, preparing to take the battle to the Tuatha. Then our moment arrived, and in an instant, only I remained. Even if it means my last breath, I will see the Tuatha burn. We are called the eyes and ears of the Alfar, but the Ariad is more than that. We are the sword in the dark, the whisper of death. We serve Lyria and all her children. My men trained for years to be unleashed upon the Tuatha. Now, only I remain. I swear, before I too have fallen, winter will burn. Even after the Baelor was unleashed, I believed in Telera. She was the great general. I thought she would, in time, return from exile with our salvation. And so she did. Oh, to have been there, at her side, when she struck the demon down. The ash covering the ground ahead is all that remains of my men, all fallen in our assault on that pass. The Tuatha have built a gauntlet of spell-casting sentries who greeted our every advance with fire. Who says I am? Who says you are? This is Shadow Pass, youngling. Maybe we're all dead but don't know it yet. But I swear, whether I am dead or not, my spear will taste the blood of those arrogant bastards high on the rock. I will make them pay the butcher's bill for what they've done. It's just, these Tuatha wage war like none I've known. Magical fires burning my men to a cinder with a word. But if you're brave enough to challenge them, we may have a chance. They're using the terrain against us, flanking the paths from above with sorcerers. If you can neutralize these sentries, I will charge the approach myself. Together we might be able to break their lines. The pass ahead is defended by a sorcerer on the overlook. See if you can find a path to his position and attack him from behind. If you can do this, I'll bring steel to the Tuatha line.
Got myself a little tied up here. And is it a trick of the eye, or are these crystals growing? Just got myself tied up in some trouble with the locals. Nothing I can't handle. Honestly, I haven't had this much fun in decades. Not on your life. This old man can still take care of himself, you know. But I will take just a moment to catch my breath. Stupid old lungs.
It has begun, but we must press on lest the Tuatha secure the high ground. There are more sentries ahead. Each must be killed before we can advance. Well done so far. The next pass might be trickier. There are 2 sorcerers overlooking the path. Once you've felled them both, I will charge the lines myself. That's the last of them. We've paid a heavy price, but Shadow Pass is ours. I'll make camp here until reinforcements arrive. It was an honor to fight by your side. Maybe this will help you out. He has killed countless Alfar. When the Tuatha first pushed us across the sea, Decidin led the vanguard. I lost many friends that day, and I have not forgotten the one who slaughtered them.
You must hurry. There is much to do. Gask and his forces are preparing to march. They know about the caves and will not cease until every last one of us has been slain. And there are the survivors of Eventide to consider. I have not heard a whisper from across the pass. And Esha, she plots a fool's errand. We must stop her. Much to do. She was once of the House of Vengeance, and has always served as the guardian of Ashmore. But she is only one warrior against Gask's legions. Esha fears an attack and wishes to lead survivors to safety through the caverns. Perhaps you can talk her out of it. She readies her people below. An agent of Gadflow and head witch knight of Cadsamir, one whose acts define him. Little is known of him, but this is not important. His actions here are a grim enough tale. They did not sense the changing of the tide as I did. They had no warning. The first of Gast's soldiers occupied the pass, severing Ashmore from Eventide, ending all communication between us. We of Ashmore retreated into these caverns and know not of what fate befell Eventide since. There are many good folk there, Bareth, Nell, and even Ordo. Ashmore and Eventide stand astride the pass, the corridor leading from Bale to the wider world. When we refused to stand aside for him, he ripped his way through. Wonderful! Your attack will give us time to organize an escape. Do not underestimate Gask. He is among Gadflow's best for a reason. His camp of Cadsamir is to the north, but you must defeat his witch knights along with the Fae himself. I have faith in you. He lords over Twilight Pass from the plateau above, rarely seen, his minions executing his bloody work. Both he and they prefer it thus. You're back. I was keeping an eye on you from a safe distance, to see if you would keep your promise. I am amazed. I dared not speak of it, but there are prophecies of a mortal who would herald our kind's passing. While the defeat of Gask will count as a victory against the madness of Gadflow, I wonder if it is a harbinger of darker nights ahead. Prophecies aside, you have done as I asked, and we, the clan of Ashmore, recognize you.
Agarth will not be far behind you. Neither of us saw any sign of Aelin Shear or Ventrinio. A scout on the ridge above saw the Tuatha mounting for a counterattack. You should hear what he has to say before we move on. If you'd rather not wait, talk with Agarth. Time is of the essence. The Pale Country, once the peaceful home to the Winter Court. Now Gadflow squats in her heart like a rot in the flesh. My homeland will not suffer this indignity. Together, we must extract the Tuatha, even if it means the end of my people. Bale, the icy heart of my people, with bridges of woven stone and ice. It sickens me to think of what Gadflow's people have done to it. Agarth, if he tells you he's ready, then my people are as well. Of course, if you wish to proceed with caution, the scout on the ridge will know what we're up against.
Good to see you here. Ready? I am. But there hasn't been any sign of Aelin Shear or Ventrinio. Damn it all, I knew we couldn't trust her. You're right. At least now I don't need to worry about when she's going to betray us. Just how she already has. Right now, we just need to get through the House of Vengeance and kill the Cur. He's the closest thing Vengeance has to a leader anymore. A face so consumed with hatred that he's little more than a beast. If you're going to get into Bale, the Cur has to die. We'll go as far as we can. Whatever is happening in Bale needs to be stopped as quickly as possible. Listen, you're more powerful than I ever was. If anyone can stop this, it's you. When you kill the Cur, you go into Bale and stop Gadflow. If we get separated, I'll keep fighting to keep an escape route open for you. Now go! That was amazing. You're twice the hero I ever was, or could have been. Our forces can't keep going from here. We're stretched too thin, and we've lost too much. Sidon and I will hold the gate for you as long as we can. But Bale is nearly deserted. Head in, face Gadflow, end this. Not at all. You just get moving and put an end to Gadflow while you can. Do that, and I predict our future involves sharing drinks and war stories around a cozy fire. Trust me, I'm a Fate Weaver.
My deepest apologies for not being able to join the battle. Ventrinio was something of a hassle. He attacked me. It was only a matter of time before his greed got the better of him. The closer we got to Bale, the more obsessed he became with Tianok, and with harnessing Tianok's power. just like Gadflow did. That's why he had to be stopped, and why we need to talk about our mission. Betrayed you? Never! You forgot the mission when you died. We're running out of time. I'll explain as we go. This must have been a lot for you to take in at once, but I need you to be clear on who you are and what you need to do. A lot has changed since you were here last. It isn't going to be as easy this time, and last time it killed you. Oh, she's a creature with incredible power. A dragon. But she is no simple lizard in some child's tale. She has a power rivaled only by the gods. Thousands of years ago, the ancient Alpha sealed her in the Amethyst between this world and the world of magic. And there she went mad. As her prison weakened over time, she was able to tempt Gadflow into helping her gain enough power to break free. And if she escapes fully, it will mean the end of all mortal life. Tiernok's revenge for tens of thousands of years of imprisonment. That's why people like you and I have dedicated our lives to keeping Tiernok secret from the world. We were supposed to keep Tiernok hidden from the world. Anyone who learned too much had to die. But when Gadflow found her, you were the one who volunteered to kill him and seal Tiernok away once more, even though you were fated to fail. It took every trick we had to get you here the first time, and you still died. I don't know if you plan to be resurrected, but knowing you, I wouldn't be surprised. Everyone who knows the truth of Tiernok will be dead, and Tiernok will be sealed away once again. We can return to our duty of keeping the knowledge secret, assuming that's the life you want to return to. But if you refuse, then I'd have to make sure you never tell the truth about Tiernok. Of course, I'd rather it didn't come to that. But you would have done the same. If you only think you're ready, then you're not the same cocky bastard that I used to work with. Just make sure you do the job right this time. You can't count on having a third life. And it'd be a shame to lose the man you've become. Ha! I have more important things to do than love. And so do you. But I do trust you with the fate of my world. It may not set your heart aflutter to hear it, but it'll have to do. If Gadflow isn't here, then he must be hiding further underground, someplace closer to the source of the Prismere. Definitely. The war's not over yet. Whatever bargain Gadflow made with Tiernok, it's about to pay off. When that happens, the world will not be spared her wrath. In the heart of Alabastra is the former unseelie city of Baal. Beneath the Winter King's court, there is the Cave of Amethyst. It's a place of tremendous power. It is where Tiernok is imprisoned, and where you died. Somehow Gadflow found a way to reach out to Tiernok. Or perhaps she was able to seek out his twisted mind. She offered him power, and with it, he began the Tuatha. No wonder Gadflow thinks she's a god. We were two of the people who were supposed to keep Tiernok hidden from the world. Anyone who learned too much had to die. But when Gadflow found her, you were the one who volunteered to kill him and seal Tiernok away once more, even though you were fated to fail. It took every trick we had to get you here the first time, and you still died. I don't know if you plan to be resurrected, but knowing you, I wouldn't be surprised. She's imprisoned deep in the Amethyst, but Gadflow's war has weakened her bonds. There's no time to spare. If she gets free, our world is lost. Then Trinia was right. Tiernok is no god. She has almost as much power, and is every bit as dangerous to the world as any Doc god. Her powers raised Gadflow from a jester to a warlord, and in return, his army would usher in a chance for her to enter this world and consume it. Only you have the power to reseal Tiernok inside the Amethyst. I must keep the secret of her existence from the world. Once Tiernok is pushed back into her prison, these caverns must be sealed. But that leaves one question. Can I trust you to keep Tiernok's secret? There are things in this world that must remain hidden. If the power of the dragons were widely known, Well, you've seen what has happened here. Gadflo tapped a fraction of her power. He upset the great cycle of the Fae and waged a genocidal war on the young races. Just coming in contact with her power managed to free you from fate's bonds. And if you can turn that freedom against her, she will have no power over Amalur. Nothing like you has ever existed before. As always, there's no way of knowing your future. If you're victorious, it may be the last time you change the fate of the world. Even if you fall back into fate's weave once her influence is gone from this world, it will be a far better fate than what Tiernok's emergence would bring. That is excellent. After all that you've done, it would have been a shame for you to die a second time. If you do escape, I will be watching you. And know this, anyone who learns the truth of what happens here, I will silence myself. Go. Stop Tiernok from fully entering this world. But remember, my blades will always be at your back. Tiernok's power is immense. She just tore off a splinter of what you could have been and turned it against you. When she killed you, that much power must have torn you free of the entire tapestry of fate. Nothing in the world is fated to stop Tiernok. That's why you're the only one who has a chance. I'm just here to make sure you take it. Amathin lies beyond. This is where the dragon will breach the veil.
Come forward, mortals. Behold the birth of Tiernok. Attend your final hour.
My fate does not lie beyond those doors. You alone may change what is to come. Go!
Ah, yes. Welcome back, mortal. How does it feel, I wonder, to return to this place? Does the pain of your death still linger? Can you feel it echo through the air? And now, in this place, you shall witness the birth of Tiernok, the destruction of the Alpha, and the dawn of the endless winter. She comes. Tiernok the powerful, Tiernok the merciful. Qualla fella Tiernok, qualla sera Tiernok. Tiernok? Have I done well, lady? Are you pleased? Did I...
You have served your purpose.
But I have so much more to give.
And now, fateless one, you shall serve yours. Impossible! Impossible!
How could we have known that this would be a new beginning? I wonder now if we should have foreseen this outcome, but who knew then what fate would bring? I would have liked to have delivered this message in person, to see you one final time. That, however, would have been complicated. The order to which I belong had other plans, were you ever to leave the crystalline fortress. When it comes to you, though, it seems no fate is written in stone. It was only through my assurances that your silence could be counted upon that either one of us still draws breath. I trust you will not make of me a liar. Were stories of what we have seen to begin to surface in the inns and taverns of Amalur, I would be asked to seek you out. And as we both know, the next time you die, there will be no return. But let us not speak of this. Your life is your own. Go now, and see what fate may bring you, or what fate you may bring. Perhaps one day in happier times, you and I will meet again. Until that day, I remain yours, Aelin Shear.
Well, well, awake at last. You gave us quite a scare. But you're here and the war's all but over, so who are we to complain? I was hoping you could tell us. Sidon and I were fighting a few remaining stragglers when all of a sudden they started this unholy wailing. I guess you must have killed Gadflow, because the Tuatha started screaming and ran away. There are still a few diehards, but they don't have the fire in them, you know? Wasn't much longer before Aelin showed up carrying you over her shoulder. Told me to watch over you, make sure you were okay. She left some kind of note for you, but I know better than to read a private message from the likes of her. There are still Tuatha who refuse to surrender, but yes, the war is ended. You should have seen the parade in Rathir. As for what's next, well, that's a tough question. See, a lot of the soldiers asked me for readings after the fighting ended, and, try as I might, I can't see a fate for any of us. Tirnoch, you don't expect me to think that Gadflow's god was real, do you? No, impossible. Whatever happened down there, though, it changed everything. At least for now. I've been a lot of things in my life. A hero and a heartbreaker, a fate weaver and a failure. All at the cruel hands of fate. Until you came along, I never had a choice in what I was. Thank you for that. First she works with us, then she betrays us, then she saves your life. I admit I don't know what to make of that woman, but I feel like we owe her. Not that I'd know how to find her, or pay her back for that matter. I've heard legends about it, but supposedly it's a deep cave beneath Bale, either for the Winter King's meditation or where they emerge after they die. Last I saw him, Sidon was mourning at the House of Sorrows. I can't imagine what his people are going through. If you see him, give him my regards. The Winter Fae were a decent people. They didn't deserve what Gadflow did to them. So the gnarled madman didn't make it out of Alabastra? I can't say I'm choked up over the loss. There are still plenty of Tuatha, but without Gadflow to give them the word of Tirnoch, they've gone mad. Well, ever since you came back from Alabastra, I cannot read a place in the Weave for anyone. Whatever you did, it didn't just win the war. It's given us all a chance to make our own destinies. Whatever you did to him, Gadflow is truly dead and gone. Sidon says he won't be reborn, although I don't know how he can be so sure. You've all but ended the war, and you've surely changed its destiny. Every mortal in the Feylands owes you thanks. Sure, there are still Tuatha left here and there, but they've got no leader, and they don't pose half the threat they used to. The Fae in the House of Vengeance are, bar none, the fiercest, strongest, most downright unstoppable creatures in the land. Not that they have a lot to be vengeful about. After all, Godflow was the one who started the damned war. Doesn't look like there was much of the House of Pride left to save. And I can't imagine they were happy about a mortal doing the saving, either.